I have no patience for the co-opting of therapy like this and having the message be so blatantly consumer centered and then putting that message in front of 2 million people. No, ma'am. We've just found new ways to get people excited about aesthetics, about romanticization, and overconsumption. Buy this to be different. Buy this to self improve. Buy this to get some kind of mental wellness. Like, dude, no. To attach shopping to our emotions or functioning like an emotional outlet is bad news bears because you can come to depend on that in order to feel better. You can create dependencies. You might not see it at first. You might not even realize what you're doing, and it might feel good for a while. And then all of a sudden, maybe 2 weeks down the line, maybe a month down the line, maybe 6 months down the line, you're feeling better when you get to shop. And then the only way to feel better is to shop. Girl therapy is a TikTok trend that slingshotted its way into popularity in the end of 2023 and still won't die. Creators continue to make girl therapy TikToks well into 2024, and we're repackaging consumption, putting a little bow on top of wellness culture and a sprinkling of good vibes and giving it back to people as girl therapy. Don't let all of the nice aesthetics and trending sounds fool you. This is repackaged overconsumption. And this is highly problematic, well beyond the fact that buying stuff isn't therapy. Since March 2024, the number of posts using the hashtag girl therapy has more than doubled. At that time, there were about 70,000, 68,000 posts. Now, there's almost 170,000. Girl therapy is truly alive and well. So what is girl therapy and why is it a problem? Girl therapy is the blending of consumption and aesthetics with a bit of wellness culture. These kinds of TikToks typically show things like doing makeup out of vanity or in bed. Shopping is usually among them. Skincare routines are usually among them. You might get food posts like coffee, iced coffee, matcha, sometimes like a croissant or a cafe. Taking a shower. Some of them will show more social activities like getting wine with friends or going to a coffee shop with friends. These are really nice, like going out with friends or going to a coffee shop or buying flowers. Those are nice activities. And even with these TikToks that have more social elements, they're typically combined with consumption elements, showcasing that girl therapy is something that you buy. Going out with friends, getting a coffee, or doing your skincare or makeup aren't inherently problematic activities. Reconnecting with friends can be a central part of mental wellness, and other activities can be relaxing or calming. This is not me shaming other people's interests, because doing makeup can totally be relaxing or calming for some people. It can be a way to reconnect with yourself or just focus on something, have a bit of a controlled distraction. Just as a personal example, if I've had stretches where I'm feeling kind of crappy with myself, sometimes just taking the morning, like however long it is, and just doing my makeup can act as a little bit of a pick-me-up and kind of start my day on an upward spiral. While some of the activities mentioned can be acts of self-care isn't inherently something that you buy or requires money to do or participate in. And a very classic example would be a shower. Taking a shower can be a real, true act of self-care. If you're somebody who hasn't bathed for days, then you know the power of a shower. But these creators aren't just advocating for a shower. These showers are infused with specific kinds of products and aesthetic products. And there's even an advocation for like an everything shower. So it's no longer just about the shower, it's about the specific products in the shower. And then these showers become ways as well to sell people things or to have people ask, where did you buy this from? Where did you get it from? And if that's the case, is it really then about the act of taking care of yourself? Or is it more of people wanting to reproduce aesthetics or to buy more stuff? I also believe that a central component of girl therapy is the romanticization of life. And again, while romanticization is really nice or can be really nice, that doesn't require any money to do. But these TikToks kind of argue the opposite or showcase the opposite. These are also product specific or product promoting and money promoting romanticizations, kind of associating romanticizing life with money and with buying stuff, that it does cost you money to participate in. Spraying a favorite perfume that you have, making a favorite meal, going out for a walk, or even gratitude journaling are acts of romanticization that don't cost you anything. Even wearing your favorite outfit. And when you look at some of these TikToks, it really seems like the purpose is to aestheticize their life. And the way they're doing that is through romanticization. Your life does not need to be aesthetic in order to romanticize it. And if you take off the girl therapy name from these TikToks, if you were to just see it without the name, many of them just look like that girl type of posts with the matcha latte sometimes. I actually don't recall seeing any with exercise in it, which is typically like a that girl behavior, but you still get the matcha lattes and the makeup vanities and the products in the shower. These are videos that are designed to look aesthetic and be visually drawing and visually aesthetic. These are videos made to aestheticize life. That is not inherently self-care. That is not inherently romanticization, and that is also not inherently therapy or therapeutic. And to go even further, aestheticizing life and romanticizing life. But to be more specific, girl therapy is really all about the externals. Screenshot wrote a really great article on girl therapy, and I want to share a couple of tidbits with you because I think they phrase some of this really well. It is an unfair fact that society preaches to women that improving their appearance will solve all their problems. It ties their self-worth to presentation, reaffirms the outdated notion that prettier is always better, and supports an external rather than internal locus of identity and well-being. What we are largely seeing with girl therapy is an emphasis on external aesthetics, how your life appears and how you appear. Wearing your favorite outfit, as an example, can be an act of romanticizing your life, and also kind of clothes, I guess at least, are part of girl therapy. However, your clothes don't have to fit a trend model or be generally likable or aesthetic to the average person in order to fit the model of romanticizing life or even being an act of self-care. However, when we are focused on aesthetics, then how the outfit or your closet looks matters far more than what the outfit does to you personally. There is no emphasis on what the outfit, how it makes you feel on the inside or how it impacts you mentally. It's undeniable that it's fun to indulge in this life of simple luxury and coziness, in which all the problems of the outside world disappear under thin layers of Dior foundation, new acrylics, and a dazzling blowout. But if we pull back the layers, the underlying message is conspicuous consumption. Girl therapy videos are essentially just product introductions encouraging us to buy not out of necessity, but out of the illusion that acquiring material goods equates to self-improvement. Buy these things and you will feel better, you will be better, and you will have a more aesthetic life as well. On one side, it is inherently exclusive because this trend makes self-care solely accessible to women with enough disposable income to afford regular brunches, countless cosmetic procedures, or an Instagrammable bathtub. On the other hand, it also continues the clean girl aesthetics problem of whitewashing beauty and wellness. The women at the forefront of girl therapy are usually Pilates fit, well-groomed, upper middle class white women who market their lifestyle as attainable to the masses with the purchase of only a few simple products. Yet what they are actually doing is reinforcing economic disparities in traditional beauty standards. And when I make these kinds of videos, I do hear from people who say, well, this video inspired me to do X thing, or these videos inspired me to organize my fridge or clean up my house or my room. And I do think that there is probably some people out there who could use these videos to do something good for themselves, even if it doesn't look like what is happening in these videos. I can I feel like there's probably somebody out there who might be inspired to, let's say, take that shower that I mentioned. Maybe for them, the products themselves don't matter, but these videos encourage them to, take that shower. That's wonderful. However, I think these videos can also encourage a compare and despair mindset or attitude, or it can result in comparing our lives to the people that we see on screen. If they do convince you to try this trend, you're largely being convinced to buy new things to feel better. And the way to feel better about yourself is through improving yourself, your life, and your appearance, which are typical antithetical to actual therapy. Self care at its best is not meant to take away therapy or be a stand in for therapy. They are meant, again, at their best, to be sort of band-aid solutions or more short-term solutions, perhaps even coping strategies to get you through a particular moment. They're ultimately more temporary, and exactly where on the line of temporary they fall could depend on the particular state you're in and what you might need. It is okay if some of your strategies are more temporary, but there is truly a level of danger with installing shopping as a self-care strategy. I have talked a lot about that over the past few videos. So if you want to hear more about emotional spending or kind of self-care spending, that kind of thing, I have a whole video on self-care shopping, but I also have a very recent video where I talk more about shopping addiction and kind of talk more about some of these themes, which I will link in the cards. The rise to prominence of girl therapy may also speak to the desire or perhaps even the desperation of people seeking therapy or seeking help for mental wellness. Therapy is undeniably expensive. And in Canada, actually, the average cost of one session is $150, but that is ranging different kinds of credentials from psychotherapists, social workers, and psychiatrists. Psychiatrists, I hope I have the naming right, tend to be more around $200 and up. That is expensive to spend $300 a month, 2 sessions a month on therapy. Like, there are truly a lot of people who can't afford that. If you cannot afford therapy, there are lots of sliding scale and affordable options. I've linked some resources previously. I'll link them again if you're looking for more affordable options. Ontario has an affordable therapy network. There are some services, not BetterHelp, that do offer reduced payments, and there are many practitioners out there who do offer sliding scale options. So just know that it's not just take it or leave it with 150. And again, that is just like an average in where I live, and it might cost more or less where you live, but there are at least some affordable options across Canada, the US, the UK. Those are some of the biggest demographics that watch me, but they do exist, and I just want to make sure I take a second to point those out. Girl therapy is none of this, and you can learn that pretty quickly by looking at it. But I really hate the connotation, even if you want to call this girl self-care. I feel like this video has already kind of maybe led you down the road to understand why even that is harmful, to label shopping, buying stuff, and the acquisitions of goods as elements of self-care. The demo for girl therapy is largely middle class women, people who can afford therapy or who are more likely to be able to afford therapy. However, this doesn't prevent these videos from getting into the feeds of those who aren't middle class women. And even if you are middle class, this still isn't good advice. We've just found new ways to get people excited about aesthetics, about romanticization, and overconsumption. Buy this to be different. Buy this to self-improve. Buy this to get some kind of mental wellness. Like, dude, no. Installing shopping habits, putting shopping anywhere near self-care can lead to truly disastrous results. It can be how people develop shopping addictions. When you attach emotions and you put shopping into circumstances in which you are emotionally vulnerable, or as acts of self-care, your emotions are embedded into that. To attach shopping to our emotions or functioning like an emotional outlet is bad news bears, because you can come to depend on that in order to feel better. You can create dependencies. You might not see it at first. You might not even realize what you're doing, and it might feel good for a while. And then all of a sudden, maybe 2 weeks down the line, maybe a month down the line, maybe 6 months down the line, you're feeling better when you get to shop. And then the only way to feel better is to shop. And even if that isn't you and you are not somebody who is going to start doing retail therapy, it is still another way to infuse shopping and the acquisition of goods into our everyday life. Buying candles or buying more makeup, buying shower products or hair products from Sephora, because girl therapy is still buying stuff in order to feel better. I want to now take a closer look at a few TikToks to show you more about what I'm talking about, and also to kind of talk more in depth about them. So the first TikTok we're going to look at is one of the biggest that I've seen in the girl therapy hashtag with 9.1 million views. Let's watch. This is a super quick one. We basically see entering a room and then different angles of this vanity being opened. If you remove the girl therapy name, it just looks like an ad for the vanity or somebody romanticizing their bedroom. Slapping the name girl therapy on it doesn't make it an act of self-care, doesn't make it therapeutic at all. It doesn't really change that. What is happening, in my opinion, is somebody attempting to romanticize or more like aestheticize their space. And the only hashtag is girl therapy. Now, the caption for this is, I linked my dressing table and chair on Instagram, and she has her Instagram linked. This is an ad basically for these products. So she's aestheticizing the table and the chair, her vanity space, which is, look at my stuff, look at how beautiful this is, so you can aspire to this too, which you go look at the comments and you see that so many people think this is aesthetic and desire this for themselves, and so want to now go out and buy these products so they have an aesthetic space. It would be one thing if we romanticized our own space and we're not attempting to sell people stuff, but we also are. And like, she's not even doing her makeup on this table. She's just showing it to you. She's showing physical goods to you. Do you get what I'm saying? Again, even if we take off the dressing table, go follow me here to get the link. Even if we take that off, it is still just showing goods. She's not doing an activity with it. She's not participating in it. She's not touching it. It is, look at this stuff. Look at this stuff or buy this stuff is not self-care messaging. She's using the lens of girl therapy romanticization in order to sell you things. We have all of these layers is what I'm saying. Let's now look at another really big girl therapy TikTok. Has over 2 million views. People in the comments are saying, I'm so poor. I can't afford this. I'm so poor. If you're promoting the message that you need to be rich or have money to participate in therapeutic self-care activities at all, I think it's the wrong message. And then you look at the visuals, this is a collection of stuff. This is pure good acquisition, good showcasing. Look at all of the showcase, all the stuff that I own. And this more than anything says, to me, girl therapy is shopping. Look at all the stuff that I bought. I have no patience for the co-opting of therapy like this and having the message be so blatantly consumer centered and then putting that message in front of 2 million people. This hashtag was never a good idea to begin with, in my opinion. But when you have a platform like TikTok where people will co-opt hashtags or will use them to their advantage I don't even know what the purpose of this is, to have a room this is girls therapy. That's her title. So it's not even like she's trying to have like a sales pitch for her shelves, maybe a room tour. And I would have maybe been more inclined to call this a room tour if she had that as part of her caption, but her caption is girls therapy. I want to show you one more kind of in this shopping realm. It's really quick. Shopping is not therapy. Apparently, TikTok needs this message. Shopping's not therapy. Period. End of sentence. Okay, I have a couple more for you, and we're going to see some that are less overtly consumer centered. And so I think there might be a little bit more to chat about. So let's watch this one. This TikTok is still product centered and product heavy and featuring trendy and aesthetic items. The Gisou hair oil is a really big trendy item. The Apple AirPod headphones, the really nice aesthetic clothes, and then all of the, I think it was makeup, the makeup items. Yes, like the makeup items, watching the table or watching the video. I mind this one much less than the previous few. And if I had to pick, I'd pick something like this over those ones. The central message is still to feel better or to perform self-care is to revolve around stuff. That like you need trendy, good looking items in order to do self-care. And it's all kind of like expensive stuff too. We do at least have the journaling, which I appreciate. I love I'm a journaling gal. I appreciate that message. That's probably the best part of this, in my opinion. But you take away girl therapy, what do you have? It looks like an It Girl aesthetic video. To me, it just really reads as a new way to aestheticize life and sell it to you, or to just aestheticize life so you click on her page. And that's ultimately like the problem with TikTok, even if there is good stuff happening or well-intentioned stuff happening, it's that people create stuff in order to get into the algorithm or to get onto your page. So you click on them and you like them. And often that means creating stuff specifically for the hashtag for girl therapy that may not reflect reality, or it's curated to match this aesthetic. People can opt for the aesthetics over accuracy. Self-care does not need to look sexy or cute or aesthetic to be an act of self-care. In fact, therapy is probably one of the ugliest things you will do in your life. It's probably not the ugliest, but it's an ugly one out there. It's not cute. It's not sexy. You probably cry a lot. You probably will feel a little bit like shit at some point and face things you don't want to face. Those things aren't cute or sexy, but necessary in so many cases. And yeah, therapy is not aesthetic. Even if you do it yourself, or even if you just start with journaling your feelings, not aesthetic. And it doesn't have to be in order to get the benefits. I really feel like the heavy implication is that stuff needs to look a certain way in order to be beneficial. No, ma'am. And TikTok has aestheticized every piece of our lives, every component of our lives. To me, it just puts so much pressure. Like, to be therapeutic, it has to look cute. No, ma'am. To be self-care, it has to look cute. No, ma'am. Do not fall for it. Do not fall for it. Okay, last one. Let's watch. She has a highly curated life and aesthetic. Everything is pink and white. She's even showing a super curated Pinterest board that's all basically pink and white. It's also a product focused reel. You have all of those Rhode lip glosses, all of the expensive skincare and hair care, Caudalie, Way, Gisou. We have the Diptyque candle. There's also a Dior candle. Super expensive, super curated life. I don't really know anybody in real life that has a curated aesthetic like this with everything matching pink and white. That's what looks the best on socials, but not reflective of how a lot of people live their lives. There's also a chance that she has more products than this, but curated the ones that matched in order to look the best in this video. Which to me also suggests that this is product focused, that this is about the way her life appears and the way her reel appears, or her TikTok appears, sorry. This is done to fit into the algorithm, and this is done for you to think it's aesthetic to click on her video. This is not done because she necessarily lives like this, thinks this is therapeutic or self-care, or does this, like, would she have ever made this TikTok if girl therapy hasn't been a trend? Maybe she put it into clean girl aesthetic or it girl aesthetic, which is also my point, that it's about the aesthetic and not about what it does. And you've seen enough videos at this point to get the idea of what these videos look like. And they all kind of start to look the same after a while because you see the repetition of the products and the aesthetic. And it kind of suggests that this is what it looks like, that this is what therapy looks like, this is what self-care looks like. And this is how you do it. When self-care is not about how things look, it's about how things make you feel and what they do for you internally. Some external things we do can have an internal impact, but when we exclusively focus on things that have an external focus, then what you're going to be targeting is largely external. What self-care looks like can be radically different for so many people, but these videos give the vibe that self-care is this one thing, that self-care is skincare and makeup and showers and buying stuff and shopping and all of that, which we've already talked about earlier. Even if we wanted to focus on more like maybe let's say like distractions, there could be runs, there could be jogs, there could be soccer, there could be reading, there could be chess, there could be gardening, there could be baking, there could be knitting or sewing or sculpting or woodworking. People could be making stuff. People could be reading stuff. People could be walking out in nature doing photography. Do you get my point? There isn't a diversity of stuff being showcased. There is a very little narrow window telling you what self-care looks like, because it's aesthetic, I think. And at the end of the day, which I'm going to reiterate for the last time, we don't actually know if these women do these things in real life or if they think what they're doing is a form of self-care. And in a way, it's almost irrelevant if they believe it, if they are advocating it. The purpose of these videos is to appeal to the TikTok hashtag and TikTok algorithm and not necessarily to reflect reality. So I think that if you come across these videos, maybe appreciate them, that they look good, maybe ignore them, but they are not advice or necessarily a way to live life in order to achieve any semblance of happiness. Could these women be happy? I hope they are. Truly, I hope they are. But your life doesn't need to look like this in order to be happy. That's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed hearing from me. I would love to hear your thoughts on girl therapy. That's it from me. Thanks so much for watching. I would love if you would subscribe to catch more content like this. And I hope to catch you again around here soon.